Hi, Misha here, and doing a quick black box video. Jay and I will do a more complete video about this weekend when we meet up, and he can help me with pictures and whatnot. But I just wanted to comment on the beginnings of SHOT Show 2020. And there has been a lot of kind of pre-hype from Arsenal about their AK-20. Palmetto State, Armory, PSA has talked about a lot of their projects, including the AK-103 clone they're doing, the GF4, MP5 stuff. Kalashnikov USA has announced their KR-103. And on and on and on. A lot of these are getting media attention. You know, they're getting big YouTubers to talk about it, showing it around, of course. And I'm not saying any of that stuff is bad. What I'm saying is, so far, the coolest damn thing is from a little company out of Colorado, also Texas now, owned by a couple of real gun guys, and I say that because I know one of them actually has a very respectable AK collection. I'm sure the one does too. Andrew and Corey at Arms of America. Now, Arms of America has been around for a minute. They've imported quite a few parts kits. They've done stuff from Romania, but they've really had kind of the inside track with Poland for a number of years now. They've been the ones who started bringing in the WBP kits about 5 years ago. And then we actually, on the main Mishaco channel, were part of the launch and broke the news of the first WBP complete gun, the Lynx pistol, which was a 10-inch 7.62 by 39 AK pistol. And then also we were able to break the news on the WBP Fox AKM type rifle, which 16-inch, has two different scope mounts. Good stuff. I mean, WBP. But also, Arms of America has been importing FB-Radom parts for a number of years, but never a gun until now. They just announced Tuesday that they will be doing the mini Beryl-S 223 M1 semi-auto pistol. And this is something that Jay and I both have been excited for for a long time. We're both big fans of the FB-Radom Archer, which up till now has been the only FB-Radom AK to come in. Now, the Archer has an interesting history, and we've done videos ad nauseum on Mishaco. As you know, IO Incorporated imported 700 Archer 01 rifles, which is a semi-automatic Beryl rifle, right down to the correct barrel. Now, the first Archers, the V1s, had a few issues, not reliability, but they weren't exactly like a Beryl. But by V2 and V3 especially, it was a Beryl. I mean, it even had a fake, cosmetic-only safety fire mode selector, all that good stuff, 3-round burst, had the correct 18-inch barrel, scope mount came with it, collapsing stock, all that goodies. Well, because IO is staffed by people that would make Forrest Gump look like Stephen Hawking, they completely botched that, as they've done with so many other things. So they only brought in 700. They blew them out. They got out of the game. But then Ted Marshall, on behalf of a company known at one time as Radom USA, was at SHOT Show for a couple of years back between, off the top of my head, I think it was 2015 and 16, maybe 17 too, saying that, oh, they're going to bring in Beryl rifles, yada yada, all these big plans, all this big stuff. I don't want to get into that right now. It's late, and I don't want this to go long, but it never happened. They never sold anything. The only rifles they brought in were samples. They ran into some difficulties with the ATF. They also ran into some difficulties over in Poland that most people aren't aware of with their government. But, you know, people were kind of eh. But then, of course, when it was clear Radom USA was vaporware, the price of Archer rifles went bananas. Right after Radom USA officially ceased to be an entity, the price on Archers climbed up, and away. They went from being $1,000 at one point, brand new, to $1,500, $2,000 used, $2,500, and then some examples, which were still in the box, but still technically used. Got to remember, it's like a car. Once you leave a gun shop with a gun, it's used. Anyway, they went at over $4,000 in some instances on GunBroker. People lost their freaking minds. Now, since then, it's cooled off a bit, but V1s are still nearly $2,000. V2s are at least $2,000 to $2,500, depending on how they're configured. And the most elusive, and the one brought in the smallest numbers, and the most authentic, the V3, are still bumping $2,500 or up. So yeah. The price on this mini Beryl pistol is going to be under $1,200 retail, and that's the announced price. So you know it'll come down a bit, and you know dealer prices. When I heard that, when Arms of America told me I told them my exact quote would be, as far as what I thought about their pricing was, sign me the fuck up. Because sincerely, I thought they would be $1,500, $1,600, maybe even more. I'm not saying an AK pistol's worth that, but given recent trends and knowing how much Poland has been charging in recent tariffs, and the thing is, I would have paid it. But yeah, for less than $1,200 for what you're getting, and considering what Archers used to been going for, yeah, and yeah. Brand new import gun. Now, what is the gun? Well, it is a mini Beryl, as it says on the side, which is their essentially AKSU or Krinkov companion. The full-size Beryl, the WZ-96 rifle, has an 18-inch barrel. It's a pretty lightweight profile barrel. It has a full-length scope rail that overarcs the receiver, has a collapsing early on folding stock, quad rail handguards, oversized mag release, extended shelf safety. They're known for being very accurate and very reliable. They're chambered for 5.56 NATO. They have a 1-in-9 twist, and the idea is that it can use a wide range of weights, which is a very common European notion. Steyr in Austria, and the FAMAS in France, and a few others use 1-in-9. Of course, it's a hammer forged chrome lined barrel. What's nice about the Beryl, it was designed for 5.56 from the ground up. Most AKs you find are kind of reverse engineered or commercial market 5.56. This was designed for their military. So it went through all the testing. It uses 30-round polymer mags, yada yada. The mini Beryl is its little baby brother. It has a 9.25-inch barrel, short gas system, And otherwise has much the same controls. Quad rail has a shorter pick rail, rear sight with a flip-up backup sight. Still has the extended controls. And the pistol will have all that. It'll have the 9.25 barrel. It will be threaded. At least that's what it seems to be. Has the combo gas block. It will have the pick rail rear sight thing, mil spec. Like I said, it'll have the extended controls. Most importantly, it'll feed from standard mags, no hinky weird mags. It'll have the ergonomic, the modern pistol grip, which is nice. The only real difference, well, there's two. Obviously, it's semi-auto only. Also, because it's a pistol, there will be no buttstock. But in the rear, there will be a sling swivel, so you can use it as is with the sling. Or you can pull the swivel out, use the remaining hole to bolt on any number of arm brace adapters. Or if you like, you can file for an SBR tax stamp, and once you get it back, you can install a rear trunnion or an adapter and use a buttstock. I think this is great. Now, again, I own an Archer rifle, so I'm covered on the rifles. And I get most people, if they're only going to have one, they would prefer the rifle. Not saying you're wrong on that. The difference is it's much harder to get rifles imported because of our current legislation. And also, when you import a rifle, it has to go through a lot more sporterization steps. For example, they cannot come in with pistol grips, they can't come in with exposed threaded barrels, and most importantly, they can't come in taking standard magazines, i.e. mags that hold over 10 rounds. This is why guns like the Fox, when they come in, have a single stack magwell and have a skeleton stock on them. But with a pistol, even though it seems a little nonsensical, you can pretty much just bring them in standard. You don't need to do much of anything except don't ship it with the stock. Another one to look at is like the JDI now today send imports Swiss guns that come in, the SG 553s. They're good to go except for you need to pop a stock or a brace on them. And to be fair, there are still 700 Archers in America, but basically no mini Beryl pistols. I think there might be one or two imports that Ted Marshall got in as samples that are floating around, but for all intents and purposes, this will be the first time the mini Beryl has been available. The good news is that it is ATF approved, done in the bag. They've had a sample, they've rubber stamped it. A contract has been signed with FB-Radom for production. The bad news is you can't go out next week and buy one. Now it's the waiting game. They have to be made over in Poland. And then they have to go through, of course, U.S. Customs just to make sure they're not, smuggling feral cats in the box. And then, of course, they'll get here. Of course, they don't have to be converted or 922R'd. Once they hit our stores, they can immediately just be sold. So that's a good thing. Hard to say. FB-Radom is a very busy company, and this is unfortunately a pretty low priority. This will happen in 2020, barring something major unforeseen happening. But I would say at the earliest, from what I've been told, it looks like summer would be the earliest we'll see, maybe even the fall. So there won't be any ATF or legal difficulties, but we will just have to be patient. But yeah, I just thought that was really neat, and I've just been impressed with the way the guys over there do stuff. They don't talk a big game ahead of time. They just quietly, behind the scenes, go about getting stuff done, and then once they get things done, they tell us. They don't kind of count their chickens before their eggs hatch, you know what I mean? And that's the way to go about this and do it right. But there aren't a lot of AKs left out there that I would just flip to own. But the Mini Beryl is one of them. Because, A, I don't have a lot of shorty AKs. I really don't. And B, my Archer has just been a superb gun. The looks initially kind of turned me off, but I've really grown to like them over the years. But more importantly, it's just a really nice shooter. Smooth, 100% reliable, and just highly unique. So yeah, check that out if you would. See the coverage for Arms of America's booth at SHOT Show. Show them some love. Go over to their website and check for the main Mishaco channel. We'll be putting out a more formal, full-fledged video that actually has images on it in the next week or two for sure. But just was excited, so I wanted to record this real quick before hitting the hay tonight. And yeah, appreciate you tuning in. Love to hear your thoughts, feelings below. This is Misha, and I will catch you very soon next time.